So I'm not quite sure where I sit with Osgood Perkins. I mean, his last two films weren't that great in my opinion. If it wasn't for, Nicolas Cage being cast as Longlegs, and if it wasn't for the awesome promoting material and those original cryptic trailers, I don't think anyone really would have paid attention to it. And then for the monkey, the monkey was like Final Destination meets Twins. It was definitely kind of whatever. So now Keeper being his third film, it was good. I enjoyed it, but the trailer kind of irked me having all these directors stroke this guy's ego and talk about how great he was. You had Fidel Alvarez, Guillermo del Toro, Damien Leone. Come on, Damien, you made Terrifier. And then Hideo Kojima. Really? Like, come on, man. The guy hasn't even made a movie yet, but most of his game ideas and games are just more freaky than this. But so Keeper was all right, but I guess it would definitely be the first Osgood Perkins film that I actually genuinely enjoyed. And like I said, I just didn't care for the last two.
Hail Satan.
No.
So Keeper follows this character Liz, right, played by She-Hulk.
Little punk.
Tatiana Maslany, and this guy Malcolm, played by Rossif Sutherland, who I had no idea, never heard of this guy before, never heard of his name before, but I was like, Sutherland? I gotta look this up. There's no way. Yes, there is way. It's Donald Sutherland's son and the half-brother to Kiefer Sutherland. That's freaking hilarious, right? There's a brother from another mother. Never seen him in anything before. Apparently he was in Game of Thrones. Wild, right? But so Liz and Malcolm have only been dating for about a year, right? And they're going away for the weekend to his cabin in the woods. And of course, like any movie that you're taking where a guy and a girl haven't been together for that long and they're deciding to go on a vacation to a cabin in the woods, it's just never going to end well, right? It's just for some reason, right? Never ends well. So you already know shit's going to go down. So they go out there, and really nice house he's got, and apparently his cousin lives next door, his rich little like perverse kind of stuck up silver-spooned cousin, and they just live out there, right? They just go out there every once in a while and enjoy themselves. And throughout the beginning of the movie, there's all these random faces of these women screaming and obviously meeting someone and then being upset with someone and then dying, apparently, right? So now, Liz and Malcolm are here in this cabin in the woods, and Liz is starting to having some doubts about being out here, right? Apparently they're only there for a weekend, so I'm assuming the movie takes place in within 2 days. But she's starting to have all these weird visions and this weird feeling of being in this house. She's fed this random chocolate cake that apparently is supposed to put her out and knock her out. And Malcolm is, in a sense, a serial killer, right? It's so cheesy. It's kind of straight to the point. You already feel like something's not right. He ends up leaving to go back to the city because he's a doctor, and he's got to tend to this patient that just got out of a coma, supposedly. So he leaves her alone in the house, and as she's hallucinating and seeing things that maybe are or aren't there, when he comes back, he just very politely spills the beans to her, right? That apparently when he was young with his cousin, they found this witch naked in the woods dancing that was about to give birth, and because she was on their property and they're fucking little assholes, they just shot her. So they shoot her, she's wounded, they drag her back to their place, to their farm, they put her in the pig pen for whatever fucking reason. I don't know where the parents are during this whole altercation, but then when they come back, she ends up giving birth. It turned out she gave birth to these creatures, right? These humanoid beings. They're almost like fucking engineers from the Alien franchise, from Prometheus and shit. They almost actually look like the baby from, Fidel Alvarez is one of the people that praises Osgood in the trailer, but he did, Alien Romulus, and that whole engineer baby shit is exactly what Osgood Perkins creatures look like. Makes me wonder who designed it first. But it turns out that they end up killing the mom afterwards because they realize she's like this witch thing because she gave birth to these creatures. So they kill her, and they end up raising the demon spawn for whatever reason, and they are given like a wish, and their wish is immortality. So they keep immortality. They've been around for 200 years, the cousin and him, but it turns out that they have to feed these creatures every once in a while when they get hungry. If they don't, they'll end up, going back on their deal. And, I don't know why they wouldn't just kill the creatures as well. If you're 12, 15-year-old kids and you shoot this woman in the woods for no reason, why would you not shoot her like creepy demonic creature offspring? Doesn't make any fucking sense. Instead, you're gonna bargain with them? All right, whatever. So he conveniently lays all this out to Liz, and Liz starts freaking out. She's, like, let me go, let me go. Traditional, anyone would start freaking out. But again, I would just get up, grab a knife, and start swinging. Start swinging, girl. She almost gets away because she's like, let's just leave. And he's like, no, let me search the house. It's like, nah, bruh, like, I'm out. Like, I'm not gonna wait for you. I'll hike out of this bitch if I need to. I'm not gonna just sit there and wait to be told everything's okay after I clearly do not feel okay. And I saw some shit that is not okay. And so it turns out Liz looks strikingly similar, almost to the T, as the freaking witch that they killed 200 years ago. And so these creatures, even though they're trying to kill her, they also see her as their mom. They're looking at her being like, whoa, you look like mama. Like, what the hell is going on? So these kids end up capturing her, and as she wakes up to this horrific group of deformed demonic creature kids, she ends up, I don't know how, in fact, becoming their mother, right? They're like, you are our mom. Maybe she just loses her mind and they're able to somehow infect her with whatever, but she ends up becoming their actual mother, or at least believing now that she is their mother. But in the end, she ends up having these glossed over eyes. So obviously they did something to her to make her one of them. And then Malcolm ends up, shriveling up and getting all old and decomposed and like he's 200 years old, which he still looks pretty good. He looks like he's maybe only like 90. They should have totally had the whole like Dorian Gray situation happen where he just actually turns to dust. But, Liz ends up coming and confronting him, and she's just like, you almost killed me. You said you loved me. You probably said it to all the women that you've brought up here and murdered for your immortality, but now this your little run is over and mama is back home. This is like, what? Like, again, it was just so random. Like, I mean, I wish they would have explained how she now became their mother, how she got these glossed over eyes, because they're in the poster, like with the demonic eyes, but like, how exactly did she have the demonic eyes? Was she actually like the reincarnated mother of these creatures? I mean, you don't really know. Did they put the spirit of the mom in her because she's like the perfect vessel? Like, you don't really know. I guess it's an ambiguous ending that's just left to your interpretation, but it would be nice to know like what the fuck is going on. And the creatures are pretty creepy. You had one girl that had multiple faces and lips. You had one creature whose neck could get really long, one that looked like he had like a shielded chest, like bony chest. I mean, they were interesting creature designs, I guess, to say the least, but they also very similarly followed the layout of the engineer. They very much so looked exactly like the engineer in Romulus. They were like strikingly similar. So I don't know. I don't really know where to put Osgood Perkins at on the list of great horror directors. Because I mean, John Carpenter, Clive Barker, Damien Leone, like, those are like horror directors that have made great works of art. And I cannot say that Osgood Perkins is that guy. He shouldn't be held up on that high of a horse, considering his last two films aren't that widely enjoyed. It's not like people are like always bringing up the monkey. Yeah, Long Legs, again, it's because of Nicolas Cage, to say the least, but it just didn't, I don't get it. And this movie did enjoy it. It was a lot of fun, but kind of wish there was some more explanation as to why certain things happened the way they did. But yeah, check it out. I would still suggest to watch it because it's a fun watch for sure. You'll definitely get some cringy moments out of it, and I know you'll enjoy it if you like horror films. So yep, this has been Ghost in the Craig. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys, and just